Morning. Realistic vegan way in a week? Let's go. As you can tell, the weather is getting brighter. We're finally getting a bit sunnier in the UK. I'm not going to be silly and say summer's here, but it is coming and it's really nice. But yeah, we're just doing another little realistic video where I'm not really working to any theme, just showing you what I'd be having if I wasn't filming. I feel a bit cheeky with this first one because I'm doing a leftover, but I made a little breakfast pear crumble yesterday. I pretty much chopped up pear and roasted it with cinnamon and sultanas, and I mixed up a little crumble to go on top, which was porridge oats and coconut oil. But yeah, I'm just gonna pop this in the microwave. These were the porridge oats I used. Then I've got my yogurt. For a vegan yogurt, it's got quite a good amount of protein as well, 3.3 grams for 100 grams. I also just like the thick texture too. And a little bit of syrup on top. Oh, so lovely. Honestly, one of my favorite recipes. I feel like it's quite new to me, so I don't think I've made it on here before. But I need to. Because it is like a bridge between a porridge and an apple crumble. And it was the perfect little Sunday breakfast, so that's why I got the leftovers on a Monday. But yeah, I've got a really cool day planned tomorrow. I've got to get my hair cut. My ends are just pretty frazzled and no amount of product is really reviving them, so I need a trim. Ever since I bleached my hair, I feel like I have needed more trims. It's been like 4 months since my last haircut, and I used to get my haircut maybe every 7 months. But hopefully healthier hair after this. I've been invited to try out vegan afternoon tea at the Royal Albert Hall, which I didn't even know did afternoon tea. Never been there before, so really looking forward to that. So I'm going there tomorrow afternoon. I'll have a fresh blow dry for it, but the forecast is going to be raining. So, and I'm talking about how lovely the weather is. It's not set in stone. But yeah, that should be really cool. I'm looking forward to taking you there. God, this is such a nice one. It tastes like a lot more effort than you put into it. Yum. So for lunch, I'm really in the mood for a risotto. So I'm gonna make a mushroom risotto, but I'm also gonna grate in a courgette, which I've not done before, but this came in my veg box, and I find that grating a courgette is just such an easy way of getting a little bit more green into your food. So I'm gonna do that as well. But yeah, let's get started. Gonna use some garlic oil and a lot of onions. I might be going overboard on the mushrooms. They were just, they weren't looking good, so I just want to use them up. And they'll shrink down, right? Gonna make some stock. I've got this from Marigold. There we go. I'm gonna be honest, something else I really love about this hack is just that a courgette is just such an easy vegetable to grate. Took no time, didn't have to worry about my fingers. Lovely. I'm adding in a little bit of garlic puree. I say a little bit, that was quite a lot. And adding in the courgette. I'm hoping this will give it a nice green look as well. It's got that sort of browny look at the moment. Honestly, I often feel like cooking risotto is like a game of chicken. I just never quite know when it's ready, but I don't want to let it overdo it. So I think we are there. I think we're there. I've got some vegan feta. It's the BioLife one. I've not really crumbled it up before. I tried the Aldi one, I think, earlier this year, and it crumbled up so nicely. This one definitely feels a bit squishier, but I don't live near an Aldi, so it's hard to get. Yeah. And I got some black truffle olive oil here as well to drizzle on top. Oh wow, the feta's actually melted. I didn't think that would happen. And finally, just a few pine nuts on top. Oh, wow, okay. A bit heavy-handed today, but that's fine. It looks lovely. I really feel like I've just spent the last week watching TV. I think I mentioned I loved The White Lotus and I loved season 3. I loved the finale. I feel like it was just my favourite season for the cast. I think I loved every story this year. I know some people found like the family a bit weird and the like 3 women a bit boring, but I loved all of them. I just love the character explorations. Found it really interesting, really good. But yeah, I've also been watching Black Mirror, which has been incredible. I think we're on to season 7. If not the best series ever, it's been the best series in a long time. I really didn't like last season because it had a few supernatural elements into it, and I can enjoy a supernatural TV show. Like, I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but I think when you've got something kind of like futuristic or dystopian or whatever your TV show is, I think it's good that you kind of know what parameters you're working in. Like, I struggled with Doctor Who. I don't know if it just went on too long or there were too many rules that I didn't know, but it felt like I couldn't keep up with the rules, and then something would happen and I'd be like, oh, that was convenient or whatever. And like with last season of Black Mirror, I felt similarly, like when it went kind of like supernatural instead of future tech as the explanation, I felt a bit annoyed and cheated. And like I say, I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer because you know kind of what's going on generally there. There's a lot in this season which explores AI, and I feel like everything just feels like a bit more relevant just because of the advancements we've made on that front in the last few years. I'm really exploring kind of like the ethics going forward, and I really love the first episode, which kind of explores the subscription economy and how businesses would love to profit off of human essentials. Like Nestle, for example, have been trying to own the world's water for God knows how long. And that is like the ultimate business goal, to be able to charge you to live. So yeah, I really found it satisfying how it kind of took a dig at subscription culture and kind of the cost of living. And the cost of living was also a bit of an undercurrent in the Space Fleet one. So yeah, there was a lot I really enjoyed. I felt very on the nose this season. Yeah, I think it's really hard for a show to stay so relevant, but they smashed it. So yeah, if you're a Black Mirror fan, let me know which episode was your favourite from the new season. I think the Bandersnatch sequel might have been my favourite, but I think they were all such strong episodes. The Photograph one was probably weakest for me, but the others, I really just think it's such a strong season. And even with Eulogy being weakest for me, I don't think that means it's the weakest episode. It just didn't resonate much with me, but I think it still added a lot of depth and thought, and someone else I can see it hitting deeper basically. Really well-rounded and impressive. Like, no flop episodes for me this season. And I definitely am keen to do a video soon talking about AI. I have mentioned before here that I use ChatGPT every now and again, especially, I'd say most of the time it's when like food waste issues. I'll be looking at my fridge and I've got like 5 ingredients, a couple of them going off, and I'll ask for recipe recommendations, and I think that's a good use of it because it helps reduce my waste and my food waste, and just good handy little swap. It's not easy to get that information alternatively from a Google because it is just so bespoke. But yeah, I did a post on Instagram the other day, and it was basically asking ChatGPT, do you think the world would be a better place if we all went vegan, and kind of like exploring what that would look like. And I thought it was really interesting and could really help people imagine what a vegan world would look like. I think that is so helpful when you live in a world like this. I think that is so helpful for us to be able to imagine a better world. Sometimes we feel so trapped in reality, it's hard to know what you're even fighting for. So I really felt like it was a good post to do. It wasn't just like bluff. It had a purpose and all of that, but I got quite a bit of backlash, and I don't disagree with it all. I am still kind of towing my way through my thoughts on AI, and I hope you guys are okay with that. I found it really frustrating on Instagram. It just always seems so binary, like you're so evil for using it, or like me just using it means that I completely agree with this dystopian AI future and no regulation or whatever. And I'm like, I sit somewhere on the spectrum. I'd like to talk about it, I guess, deeper in another video and kind of gauge a bit more. But I think like I anticipated the environmental issue of it because I've seen that before, and I went and looked it up to kind of like see how bad AI is, or like ChatGPT is for the environment. And whilst like the industry is growing and is gonna take a lot of water consumption, particularly on a corporate scale, an individual use of just saying like, hey, can you help me use up the ingredients in my fridge, or doing a post to encourage people to go vegan, the water usage just isn't that much. It's like and it's hard to define because a different AI search will require different resources. I'm just saying I've searched it and I found it hard to get like a concrete answer, but generally I'd say it is less than a toilet flush to do a search on AI. But when we compare it to something like a hamburger, the water usage is just like so negligible. So if my post about a vegan world even got one person skip one hamburger, I'm bringing so much water back to the world in comparison. So it's, I don't know, I understand not wanting to have AI integrated into everything we do. Like I want to be able to do a Google search without having an AI result back, and I don't want it to get integrated into like my fridge and my cooker and my washing machine and all the rest of it. But I do think it's really narrow-minded to completely reject it and not necessarily look into the ways that it can make our world a bit greener and how we can utilize it for that, because if we're not out there trying to do that, then it's just going to be the big bad companies that are using AI to kind of make us consume more and help make them richer. And I don't know. Like I say, yeah, I don't know. I don't know my final answer. I'm just like, these are the thoughts that are going on in my head. I think we're at this point where AI isn't going anywhere, and we should be fighting for like regulation and compensation, like people whose art has been stolen, and all the blogs, and all the blogs out there that have been plagiarized. Like I am one of those people too, and I do know a lot of friends who have lost a big chunk of their income because of AI giving answers which people would have gone to their blog for beforehand, and now the money they earn their blog has plummeted. Now I don't think that's okay, especially because the reason AI is being able to give that answer is because it's read it from the blog, paid nothing to access it, and then is regurgitating that. Like something's wrong in that system. So when I use AI, I'm not like, we should be stealing people's stuff. But what I am thinking is, oh, it would be nice to use up the food that's going off in my fridge. And I don't know, I just feel like there is an air of rejecting AI in 2025 as like rejecting Google in 2000 or whenever it came about, like just saying like, oh no, but Google's going to put all the encyclopedias out of business. And I know that's not a direct comparison, but I do think there is an air of it, you know. I think there is comparison there. But yeah, I guess when you're self-employed, or even like my plan B is to go back into being an analyst, because that's what I did before I became a full-time creator. I don't think I can completely avoid AI for fear of falling behind and becoming really unemployable. And I think that's a really real concern a lot of us have about it. And not only just like staying employable, but like I want to be familiar with it because it also makes you aware of when other people are using it, and I think kind of helps you understand like AI scams and the AI future that we're getting ahead of, that's coming for us. And if you've never spent 20 minutes playing about with it, you won't be there. Yeah, I find it really complicated, so I'm still trying to figure out my thoughts on it because I really don't want to be too defensive on AI. I definitely want to be critical of it, but I think I just find it very frustrating when you're having these conversations on the internet that it's very black and white. And being black and white, like you can have different viewpoints, that's fine, but just closing off your ears and not listening to any of the other side, I find really frustrating and disappointing. But like I said at the start of the year, this is one of the reasons that I'm making myself more at home at YouTube this year, because I am frustrated with the nature of Instagram, always polarizing people and always just like ending it out a hot take and not a conversation. But yeah, I would be really keen to hear your thoughts on AI, because like I say, I'm still trying to figure it out, and I am just like blurting out loud the concerns and queries I have about it, because I am still forming an opinion, and I hope you guys are okay with that. Yeah, let me know what you would like covered in a future video, if I were to kind of chat a bit about it. And yeah, figure out whether or not it's something we should boycott, whether or not there are like better platforms. I wonder if any are better like environmentally or ethically in other ways than others. Maybe some like best tips to minimize AI in your life. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, I'm waffling. Okay, for dinner we're gonna whip up a bit of cauliflower, courgette, tofu, and chickpeas. Courgette, chickpeas, cauliflower, and tofu. Smoked paprika, vegan Worcester sauce, garlic, and some olive oil. Let's go.
Ooh, yummy.
Lovely. And then I have this little mojo sauce, which my friend brought me back from the Canary Islands, and it is like my favorite thing. I think every time I go there, I'm always bragging about it. It's like accidentally vegan, and I never would have known either. It was only because one of my followers messaged me and I gave it a look up, and it was like, yeah, yummy. Oh, I love a little roasting tin. Really easy, really simple. And a few bits of veg.
Lazy vegan cooking at its best.
Morning. So for breakfast, I am making a coffee, and that's not all. And then I'm gonna have some pitta leftovers just because I've got to leave soon for the hairdressers. So I'm just trying to make as quick as I can, but let me give you a little before. It is already raining, which hopefully means that it'll be done raining by the time I'm done at the hairdressers, because I don't really want that. But yeah, it's just these ends are just so dry. Sorry, that's my pitta ready. And I'm just like, I'm ready to get on my healthy hair journey. It just needs a little boost to begin with. Bit of hummus. And then goes the veggie mix from yesterday with the chickpeas and the courgette and the coriander tofu. I'm not super hungry. I'm definitely eating before. I would have rather have eaten breakfast this morning, but that's okay. I don't want to be really hungry during my haircut or have to like buy extra one out when I've got food at home to eat.
I feel like a sweet chili sauce would have been really nice in this, or just something a little fruity or tangy.
So the hair salon is about like an hour's walk from where I live, which is actually like so nice. I love that it's kind of like walking weather again. Yeah, it's not so cold that I'm like, oh, I'll get the train instead. I'd love to just spend an extra 10-20 minutes walking to get somewhere, to spend like, I don't know, an hour walking instead of 40 minutes on public transport. You know what I mean? Like for 20 more minutes you're getting an hour's worth of exercise. That's not girl math, that's real math, right? So the salon I'm going to, I've been to many a time before. It used to be called Whip. It's in the same space, same sort of vibe, a lot of the same staff, but it's now called Something Good.
This is a Weaver Line train to Liverpool Street.
Okay, we're at Royal Albert Hall, this house, you remember house, and where do we go? Yeah.
It's taking me. Oh, that's nice. It smells yummy.
We have pecan feta, tomato chutney, and black olive crumbs. Here we have kale and golden beetroot. Here we have beetroot, spinach, and hummus sandwich, grilled aubergine and olive cabernet, pepper ganache, aubergine and piquillo peppers. Almond macaroon, raspberry and chocolate cake, and this is passion fruit, whipped cream.
Lovely, unbelievable.
That must be the beetroot. No. It's civilized, isn't it? Yep. Yeah? Really bad.
With the
concentration.
No. Look, I actually think you're right.
Oh, mine's got a little heart on it. Oh, oh. I don't think I've ever had scones with scratch. Feels very hot cross bun.
Really nice.
That's not what I expected.
Not at all, no.
Like when you're done, but you just want that little. Yeah, I like this one the best.
Wow. Oh, you can even look at it. I know. Oh shit, no way.
So that is like the Royal Albert statue. And yeah, just left the Royal Albert Hall now. Oh yeah, you can see that in the background too. That was such a lovely afternoon tea. It was so filling. It didn't really look like that much, but oh, I'm so full. And they gave us like trolley cake to take home as well. There was only one flavour to choose from for the vegans, but that's okay. Like it was all nice, but the scones were particularly lovely. Like they were freshly baked, like straight out the oven. They were so warm and quite sweet. So the cream was really like quite neutral, but the scones were sweet. And you had jam. Oh, it was so nice. Just a really lovely venue as well. If you want something that feels a bit special. I also thought it was quite competitively priced. I mean, afternoon tea in London, somewhere nice, is quite expensive, but yeah, I think if you are going for like a special occasion, I felt like it was really gorgeous in there. For dinner, I'm gonna make a little like veg couscous bowl. So I had like a little bit of leftovers left, which I used at breakfast from last night. And I'm gonna mix up a bit of couscous, a bit of grated carrot and chopped up walnuts, I think. My veg box carrot, and it is massive. Carrot, walnuts. Got some salad too, which we're going to throw in. And then like the last of these leftovers. Not a lot. And then just a little bit of olive oil on top. Here I ended up chopping up that salad, but oh, looks really lovely. Yummy. Oh, I just love a nice, quick, easy dinner. Cake in bed, one of those sort of mornings. I think it's mango and passion fruit. Definitely not something I would have picked myself. I like chocolate cake. I love coffee and walnut. But Victoria sponge is my favourite, which is probably why I really loved the scones yesterday. Scones and Vicky sponge are quite similar, really, aren't they? What a nice treat for the morning. Yeah, so everyone had like 2 trolley cakes to choose from, and one of them was vegan, so the vegans just had the one option, but I think everyone else just like was given 2 flavours, and a lot of them probably went home with their slice of vegan cake and didn't really realise it. They just, you know, chose the fruity one. So I like that. I've been reflecting on it a bit more, and I do think it is my favourite afternoon tea I've tried. I don't know if you guys remember, but a few months ago I tried the bus one, Bridget's Bus, where you get like afternoon tea on a bus, and I absolutely hated it. I just think it was a jarring afternoon tea experience. One, like, I can get a bit travel sick, and I don't normally get on buses, but I think when you're trying to like drink tea and eat afternoon tea on a bus, it does just feel a bit hectic, and I got a bit sick and it just felt a bit chaotic. I also managed to spill a glass of Prosecco down me, and the prices are pretty neck and neck between the afternoon tea bus and what I did yesterday, which was around, oh, I might be remembering it wrong, like £57–58 per person. And that's just with tea, not with like a boozy upgrade, which I feel like seems to be a pretty standard price in London. I had a follower message me on Instagram being like, how much was this? I had something similar for £10 per person up north, and I'm like, God, I need to move. But honestly, considering how lovely the food was yesterday, but also just how like fancy it felt, I really enjoyed the Royal Albert Hall one. I did the Aqua Shard one last year, which was up in the Shard, and the views were amazing, but it was considerably more expensive, so I would definitely opt for the Royal Albert Hall over that, just because of the price difference. But yeah, it really did just feel like a treat. Yeah, also this week I was originally planning on doing a sort of like low buy, no buy, de-influencing style video, but I ended up doing a video about like why people are mad that Unilever bought Wild, you know, the deodorant. I found that really fun. I don't know, I can talk about these acquisitions and be mad at Unilever like on an endless loop. But yeah, I would like to do some more content on like low buy, no buy, things I won't buy sort of genre, because I enjoy watching them and I think it could be interesting, but I don't know, it's not really something I've posted before, and mostly because I also find the low buy category a bit frustrating, because I feel like in the current climate particularly, I'm not having to really consciously cut stuff out. It's kind of my hands being forced, you know what I mean? But yeah, let me know if you'd find that interesting and what sort of like videos in that space you would potentially enjoy, basically. I'm trying to figure out how best to do it, what feels right, and what would also be helpful for you guys and interesting for you guys to see. One of my favourites, we are roasting aubergine. Got a lot. You never really know how much comes out of an aubergine. I'm kind of overlapping them. I've not really done it in this style before, but if it works, this will make my life a lot easier going forward. I imagine it might take a bit longer, but I'm hoping it works. Yeah, hopefully that'll be enough. Always got to pop on some colour namak, the eggy salt. This is what makes it taste kind of like eggs. I always say this, and a few of you actually have had aubergine sandwiches and you think they're lovely. And that is the secret ingredient. So yeah, I'm gonna give that 20 minutes. Bye. I'm not a fan of my new method. It is taking longer than I expected, so I'm just having a little bit of a tofu snap. Lovely. I'm gonna mix up a little garlic mayo moment. Not garlic mayo, garlic yogurt. We're just putting a bit of yogurt and a bit of the garlic puree. A nice little mixing pot. I feel like the yogurt's just gonna add a freshness to this. And yeah, I feel like most people would do mayo. I'm not the biggest mayo fan, I prefer yogurt. But feel free to use mayo. More garlic. I'm a real garlic girl. I know other flavours exist, I just don't know why they bother. I'm kidding. Yeah. Got my salad leaves. Oh my god, if you love aubergine, you get it. If you don't, I'm sorry. Yeah, I hope this doesn't feel like old news by the time this video goes out. But like Katy Perry and some other stars literally just went to space. It either happened yesterday or the day before, but like the news is just full of it. Oh, it's not that I couldn't care less, because I have feelings about it, but why are we doing this? I just don't get space travel. Like, I understand like the basic concept of it, but I just feel like we've got enough problems already on the earth, and we've already got enough emissions that like no one should be greenlit to exploring space, especially for like tourism. I feel like it should be illegal. I feel like you should actually be able to prove that you're out there to do something beneficial to the planet or mankind. And it just feels so out of touch, like the way they're trying to promote this and make it like a bit of a jolly thing, and even worse, like the women empowerment angle and the taking up space tagline. Sorry if you missed that. Basically, Jeffrey Bezos, the owner of Amazon, sent an all-female squad crew up in space for I think like half hour or something ridiculously short time like that, and he's tried to brand it as the type of like feminist, fun, girl power thing with like the likes of Katy Perry going up there. They've talked about it like women taking up space, which, you know what, I love a good play on words, but this isn't feminism. I don't understand how this is pushing anything forward for women. especially from someone like Jeffrey Bezos, who is just destroying our planet and is awful for workers' rights. And it just feels so out of touch, like the rest of us here on planet Earth, we're struggling. And just like the other week, April, so many prices went up, and I know it's not going to be the same conversation for every circle of friends, but just in the last few weeks, me and my friends have been talking even more about like leaving London and where do you go next and like what to do, because obviously we're not just in London to pay all this rent, it's where we have community and friends and opportunities. And when you leave London, it is a bit like, what do you do? Like, I've only ever grown up here basically, so when I think about leaving London, I just don't have, like, I can't go back to my hometown, you know? Like, the furthest I ever lived away was still been the M25 growing up. That's just one of those towns that exists to commute into London, and it's not much cheaper at all. So, you know, a lot of my friends have just been having stressful conversations lately, like, how are you meant to save in this climate? How are you meant to pay rent in this climate? Like, what is going on? And then you got all these like billionaires having a jolly up in space. We don't want to see it. The rest of us are dealing with wages stagnating, the cost of living rising, and us having to figure out how to change our living standards and figuring out what to cut. Like, we're getting more experience, we're working harder, but we're not earning more, and we're getting really annoyed, and I just don't want to see him up in space. And I'm just getting so sick of like the environment just being treated as an infinite resource. We need to really start charging these big companies for reckless use of our resources. I'm glad I was never a Katy Perry fan. I can't imagine Taylor Swift doing something like this. Not because she's so ethical, but she's just, I think should be aware of the backlash and want to avoid it. I could see like maybe Miley doing something like this, and I would have been like so annoyed having to like try and make peace with that in my head. Like, I already had to deal with her quitting veganism. So yeah, it's just annoying. I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you think it is important to explore what is out there? Or do you think it's unnecessary, frivolous, and we've got more issues to deal with on the ground? Oh, that was lovely. I think aubergine is my favourite vegetable. I was going to save these as leftovers, but now I'm picking at them. Yeah, so I've just been to aerial yoga, which is like my top gym class of the week. If I make it to one, it's usually that. And now I'm off to like work from boyfriends, basically. I've got my laptop in my bag, and I'm just gonna do some edits as we kind of like hang out, maybe grab a coffee or something.
I find really frustrating.
Back home for dinner, I am gonna make a little like lazy sweet and sour themed cauliflower and tofu. So I'm starting off with steaming cauliflower. And then we got the tofu. Gonna do the quickest little marinade. I've got tinned pineapple here and sweet chili sauce. I'm gonna like fry this off as well, but I'm doing a bit of sesame oil. I'm gonna put in my tofu and cauliflower and a lot more sweet chili sauce. Got pineapple to throw in. Here we go. Gonna be honest, I don't feel like I've been like all there with this meal. I think it would have been really nice if I'd done it with carrots and onion into this. But yeah, I put some sesame seeds and chili flakes on top. Oh, it was really nice. It's a bit soggy. This probably would have been really good with rice, but I'm not really that hungry. Oh, this is good.
Yeah, if I ever make a sweet and sour, I know this is like the most basic one, but it hits the craving. And I just want to make sure it's got pineapple in it. It's the only thing it needs. And yeah, tofu helps as well. Not only for like a difference in flavour, but it's good for protein. Like if you got some of the ginger marinated ones, that would have been so nice in this. But yeah, for a lazy girl, sweet and sour, I'm quite happy. But yeah, that is where I'm going to end the video. I feel like I've nattered at you guys a lot in this one, so thanks for sticking around. And if you've enjoyed your time here, please do hit subscribe and we can hang out again soon. In a couple of weeks, I am going to be off on holiday. I cannot wait, but it is like a work review holiday, so I'll be at a vegan hotel and I'm really excited to share it with you guys. I'm really excited to go myself. But yeah, let me know what sort of things you'd be interested in seeing there, like whether or not you want a hotel tour or what I eat in a day or whatever, because I like also want to enjoy my time. I don't want to just be filming the whole time, so I just want to make sure I hit all the key stuff. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. It's been so nice hanging out again, and I just I really appreciate what we got here. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you guys. Bye.